All right, everyone, we are here with the third off-season war. Today I wanted to just aggressively test debuff detox on a few debuff important nodes. So this Terrax here on path 4 in section 1, I'm going to take it with Guillotine just for funsies. As I said, we're going to aggressively test debuff detox. So we have the armor breaks from Terrax, we have the node giving us the fatigue. So really we're just testing if dexing or blocking, or even if a combo of the two is enough to keep up with the constant debuff placing in a very debuff heavy matchup. So I could see this node working out, especially after knowing the fights I have after this, as completely preventing debuffs if the defender doesn't place debuffs from his own kit or from their own kit, not just stand your ground, or not just, unsteady ground, if they are blocking enough. Dexing kind of doesn't always trigger it. We all know you can kind of dex without triggering dex, and therefore we don't really get the cleanse charge and can't lead to that debuff immunity, or even just get the cleanse charge to get rid of debuffs. And since this fight, both Terrax special attacks afterwards, his rock field placing armor breaks, and just being close to him actually places debuffs on you, it's just really hard to keep those charges up just from dexing. I could see going completely, like playing the node completely stun immune and blocking everything, but that leads to standing in the rock field a little too long. So again, this isn't going to be the best matchup, certainly. I mean, Guillotine's probably not going to be used ever in war. But like I said, I wanted to aggressively test debuff detox since it is working, and it's going to, probably be leaned on a lot this season. So Terrax goes down. Still a pretty easy fight. We move on. Section 2, Path 4. Here I'm going to use Black Widow, Deadly Origin. And I brought her in for these two. I mean, technically for just Mr. Fantastic, because she actually does not handle evade really well. So like I mentioned earlier with the Guillotine fight, I think blocking is going to be the best way to build up charges. And you see here, I'm not really timing his heavy retaliate very well. But we have plenty of charges with all these blocked hits we are taking. We are actually dexing as well, just heavy attacks. So this is where kind of the light bulb went off. It's going to be somewhat easy if you're using a debuff detox champion to just block to build charges. There are going to be some scenarios where dexing is really easy, especially against projectiles, and that'll lead to a guaranteed cleanse charge. But you can see here, we're not dealing with unblockable. There are no non-damaging debuffs on either champion, so I'm not dealing with evade. And I threw a special too, and we actually don't have those careful study debuffs. So pretty solid showing from a debuff detox champion. And then here, spam, I decided to use Venom Pull. I'm going to start with the mutation pre-fight in the hopes that that is my first buff so that I don't have to deal with evade at all. But same thing, I mean, you're going to see blocking, removing debuffs for us, and pretty much keeping us from dealing with unblockable. I do think spam actually gets unblockable, but I think it's his kit. It's not actually the node. I mean, we're going to replay it here and take a look together. Yep, it's from his own kit. So we didn't get the mutation buff so that we can prevent Spider-Verse champions from evading. We actually got the Hunter Spider buff, but I believe the second one, there it is, the mutation shows up. So now we don't have to deal with evade. So now it's just managing debuffs, taking blocked hits. I don't even have to throw special 1 anymore. That was just to keep the nonsense down, but since he won't evade, we don't have to worry about that. And a benefit, even if spam was duped, a benefit of playing debuff detox with blocked hits is that we don't have to worry about the poppers showing up from attacking him while stunned. So yeah, this is pretty much the fight. Kind of lay into him here. I guess spam really enjoys throwing his special 1 against larger and extra large champs, those champs that have more range when backing up. Here I decided, since I am pretty much debuff immune and don't have to worry about evade, that I was going to build to 1 Fury, which meant I hit Venom Pull's capped buffs of 5, and then he starts gaining the Fury, and then I was going to parry heavy to get a vicious buff, and then throw the special 3, so we get that massive bleed and get the cooking meter going hot or spicy, whatever his kit calls it. And so we're almost there. We're going to get the Fury right around here, the next few hits on the combo meter for the cooking timer. There it is. So now we're going to parry heavy, and we're going to throw special 3. No poppers on us. And then he's going to tick away from the massive bleed, even though he doesn't have much health left at all. And by he goes. So, again, debuff detox showing up for these paths where debuffs really matter on you. Mini bosses decided to take this Apocalypse because he's in my way. Really no risk taking it here with Black Widow besides the fact that he gets an attack bonus. So really it was just block damage I was kind of worried about here. But with Black Widow, I tend to end combos when I'm retaliating a heavy or intercepting or retaliating a special attack with a light, just so that I can place as many shocks as possible, since she'll have a 100% chance on light attacks to place shock debuffs. And then that will eventually set me up for a big special 2 with as many shocks as possible within that window to deal a bunch of shock burst damage with every hit. There's not really a benefit specifically in this fight of ending with mediums. That's to reduce defensive ability accuracy, and we're not trying to shut anything off here. To be honest, the biggest one that stands out when using a skill champ is evade against a science champ, and double mediums just do not help with shutting down evade. If they evade that first hit, you're pretty much getting punished every time. So beyond that, there was our first special 2. Took a big chunk off. You can see I'm not playing the smart way, which is to end my combos short and try and block bait heavies out to push Apocalypse to special 2 when he's already got special 1. I'm just not in that kind of carrying mood. It's an off-season war. And here I think I actually blocked this special 2 accidentally. She's got a nice dash back, so it's actually quite easy to dex the special 2 with her. And Apocalypse is pretty much melting. Got a bunch of 10% boosts in the overflow, so I slapped those on for this war. Just as a practice. Here's another special 2 that was probably going to get blocked, but he KO'd there. I was actually looking forward to using her, and I do have a level 4 potion expiring from the season. I was looking forward to using her here for Attuma, since shock removes his hydration charges quicker. So here we're just going to retaliate heavies, not rely on parry. Don't really need debuff detox. We're going to shock him to death, special 2 him to death, bait out special 1s. Luckily he's throwing them pretty willingly here, keeping his charges down, which means we don't ever have to deal with a unstoppable Attuma. Just building the special 2 here. It's going nice and smooth. Feel really good about this fight. We get to the first special 2 and he just nukes down. I don't even think he makes it to the second special 2. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, he does not. I don't think he makes it to the second special 2. Yeah, he just ticks away right here. Boop. So down goes Attuma. Now, Knull Boss was open. Felt good after that Attuma fight. Decided, hey, let's go test debuff detox against Knull here. This is kind of like the biggest placement that debuff detox working is kind of big for. So here at the beginning, you really have to just dex 6 times, get rid of these debuffs, and then from there on, block bait stuff. But as you can see here, it was not doing a good job with spacing or actually timing the dex with his attack. I was either dexing too early or too late and taking unblockable hits. And there you go, that will end it. So you can see how poorly a debuff detox champ goes. But for funsies, I went in with Guillotine. There's 1 dex. There's 2 dex. There's 3 dex. There's 4, 5. We're at 50% health, and they're gone. So now we can just rip into them. So the rest of this fight, was to end combos short once Knull is at special 1. Hope that he just throws a heavy into our block instead of trying to throw special 1, push him to special 2, and Dex special 2. Rinse and repeat throwing our special 2. Guillotine will do more DOT if we can manage to land a heavy, but we're not going to risk that off the special 2. We're just going to keep throwing our special 2 and do as much damage as we can. And this would be between this and the Black Widow fight. That is the range of what could happen using a debuff detox champ without using a specific counter. Ideally, I think your best options are going to be a debuff detox champ that is a mystic, like Symbiote Supreme or Hood. Then you have the attack bonus, and on top of that, you can start nullifying these resistance nodes to get crazy power gain and just cycle special attacks like you're supposed to with mystics. But here, Guillotine doesn't have a nullify, so this is just a true, like, this is what you can expect with taking the boss with a debuff detox champion. In other words, you can pretty much take it with any debuff detox champion as long as you're smart and you can get that initial 6 dex to remove the debuffs and the unblockable. Kind of sad. I don't know if you guys noticed. These are cleanse charges. It's kind of sad that debuff detox does not give you the benefit of steady build-up nodes. It is whatever. I'm just kind of happy debuff detox works. But ideally, I would think that if I'm shrugging debuffs on the steady build-up nodes, that I would either gain the Fury or the Unblockable, depending on which section or which fight I'm taking, and we don't get that benefit. Nonetheless, the other thing to kind of point out here is that since we are block baiting a lot of hits, and the only way for Knull to put Living Abyss on you is through your block, as long as you're not taking direct contact, that Living Abyss is gone, and you can maintain preventing unblockable the entire fight. So enjoy the rest of this video. That was the end of that war. Learned a lot. Hope you guys learned a lot. Hit subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next off-season war.